All right, let's do this. Welcome to today's update. So yeah, let's just kind of get right into it. First thing first is that I did all my air normals today. I kind of went on a streak. So this is the jump light attack where he just kind of swings back and hits you with the hilt of his sword. Um, the second one is his jump medium, where he does. I borrowed the spin kick idea from my kind of trashed light kick or crouching light idea where he spins around and use this for the medium attack right here. Um, and then I did a jumping heavy attack, which he kind of swings back and then spikes down with his swords. So these all three are supposed to serve different purposes, where with the heavy ones supposed to be the kind of air to ground attack primarily. Jumping medium is going to be like an air-to-air attack, where it kind of hits horizontal to him. And then jumping light, where it's just kind of a close range attack that does a lot of different things, right? It's very good close range for converting into damage, or just if you're very close to the opponent, that's probably the move you're going to use. Notice that he doesn't have any good cross-up attacks. This is the closest one that could be a cross-up. But I do want to limit him so that he isn't just kind of jumping all over you mid-screen. So at least that's the current idea. So I've implemented all three of these into the game. So you can see this here. Let's see. As usual, let me just pull out the FPS counter. So it's running a little bit slow right now, but that's okay. So this is the light punch. This is the medium. This is jumping medium, right? Spin around, and this is jumping heavy. I've modified all their hitboxes to be what I want them to be. Oh, I haven't fixed the proximity hitbox, proximity block box for this. So let me put that down. Proximity block box for jumping heavy. But their hitboxes correspond to what their like intended hitbox should be. So you can hit them in the head with this one, but generally this is definitely a better normal to use in terms of hitting air to ground. So a few things that you might have also noticed is that the hitboxes and hurtboxes look a little bit different. So this is because I've changed them to be wireframes, except the hitboxes, so that it's easier to see the underlying animations behind them, and it's not kind of cluttering the screen so much. If you were noticing before, you would have kind of these giant blue, giant yellow boxes or giant red boxes just appearing of the characters, which makes it hard to see what the game underneath actually looks like without the hurtbox or without these hitboxes. The other thing is I've added a separate hurtboxes or a separate hurtbox, a default hurtbox for each of the characters. So before, I just had a capsule collider inside of them, so that if you overlapped with them, you would get hit. But now I've actually spawned a hurtbox for each of the characters, or so that I can control them to be a certain size and maybe perhaps later animate them based on what these attacks are. Because with things like the standing medium or jumping medium, you can see that because he kind of shrinks with his body a bit, right? It doesn't really, the hurtbox doesn't match his body, which might be problematic during gameplay later on, specifically how easy he is to anti-air and stuff like that. So that's something that I will probably change later, but that might take more scripting later on. So I'm not exactly sure what I want to do with this, but it's the first step in kind of creating separate hurtboxes that I can control for each of the characters. Let's see, anything else? I think the other thing is that, let me see, I think that's kind of, these are the main parts. I've done a little bit more brainstorming into kind of the routes I want to have and how I'm going to tweak them, which I will do very soon in terms of frame data, knockback, hit property, and stuff like that. So I want this kind of, I want there not to be too much like air game, I think, in this game currently. I want to keep air dashing probably to a minimum. I also want this forward run speed. I think it's a little bit too fast, and I think the camera is a little bit too zoomed out. But maybe this is because I'm playing it in a windowed mode. That's why the characters feel so small. But yeah, so a little bit just back to my kind of move philosophy, or like my ideas behind the moves. I think I want this crouching medium to be kind of like the high reward on hit move, but kind of low reward on block move. That will lead to kind of like pretty big damage. But and then everything else is just building off of this basic chain of like standing, medium, heavy, or standing, light, medium, heavy. That's going to be the standard like block string. That's going to be pretty good on block and leads to probably more pressure. With things like that's with like cancel into dash, and stuff like that. So still work in progress. Let me see. Let me check my list to see if anything. Oh, one more thing is that I added a separate system, or a better system for the test dummy, so I don't have to fiddle my controller, the second controller, all the time. Right now, I have the ability to set kind of a dummy frame input, and then if I have this boolean checked, then it will actually just replace the dummies or this player 2's input with whatever I have here for each frame. So in this case, it is I can just head to whatever I want, and if I check this, you can see here that it's going to start jumping, because there's a 1 in the up axis here. So if I do this, he should start jumping once the game loads. There you go. Yeah, so you can see him jumping here, holding up, which is cool. Is there anything else? I'm trying to think. That's kind of it. I did more rework. So all the stuff I talked about earlier took a little bit of rework of the hitboxes, changing the materials, making a separate material that is these wireframes you see here. Let's see. I think because I have air moves now, there are moves that you can use in the air and or not. So I have to, when I resolve some of these moves, I have to make sure that they can indeed come out or from the buffer. If not, then I have to not use them, right? So if I buffer like a jumping medium in the air, I don't want the jumping medium to come out on the ground, and things like that. So I'm not exactly sure how the buffer system is going to interact when you're like jumping and landing yet. Currently, I have it so that it just cancels, it just dumps it out, right? It just like be like, nope, can't do that. It can't use the move if I've buffered. So if I did a medium attack just as I land, then it will input the buffer as a jumping medium attack, and then when you land and it tries to output that medium attack, it will be like, nope, can't do a jumping medium on the ground, and then just cancel that, rather than giving you a standard or giving you a stand medium output. I'm not exactly. I think that works right now. It doesn't seem like there's going to be any problems with that buffer system, so I'm just going to keep it that way because that's just simpler for me to implement, or simpler for me to make it happen that way, right? Because that's what the behavior is right now, and probably simpler for me to maintain too. So yeah, that's kind of it. Thanks for tuning in, and look forward to more updates tomorrow, where I will probably be tweaking the frame data, the knockback data, to make some of these chains that I'm planning make more sense, and make the game slowly become more playable as we go. I might also fiddle around with the camera distance, the distance between walls, and whether the forward walk speed being so high is not great, because I can do like, so the things that like pressure now becomes very fast, or like what is it, like tick pressure, or not tick pressure, it's like when you do like jabs into jabs, so you jab and then you run forward, jab, that's very strong because I don't have to dash, and there's no that gap when on the start of the dash. Currently when you just press forward, you go super fast already. So I might make a separate animation for a forward walk, and then have his dash be, or have his kind of this forward run be an actual run that starts from a dash. So yeah, that's kind of it. Look forward to more tomorrow, and see you guys next time.